All right, so didn't expect to go live tonight, and I don't think I'm going to be going live for like a long period of time. My kitty cat is kind of like going nuts down there. So if I get photobombed by a cat, you know why. So welcome once again to Professor Penn's Movie Club. And I had a longer one planned, but I had a lot of chores to do around the house tonight. And it's later in the night, so I'm not really sure if I'm going to get any or many people on here. Hey, the shirt is back. Yes, I did promise the shirt would come back, and it's a super hot day. And hey, Savannah, welcome back. It has been a long time. You missed out on the last couple because you've been working and you had the like crazy Wi-Fi stuff going on there. Anyway, tonight we are talking about a couple of companies that have smaller collections of. And that would be Code Red and Twilight Time. So I got asked about them quite a bit, and I did say that I was going to show them on here. And because they're kind of more modest collections, am I into the Child's Play reboot announcement? I'm not quite sure yet. I read basically the, I know that's been fast-tracked. It'll depend. I like missed you too, Savannah. You were very missed on here, and not just by me. Everybody asked about you. So, yeah, you can actually go back and look. That people did ask about you when you were gone. But yeah, I'm not quite sure about the Child's Play reboot. Depends on how it's done, who does it. I'm guessing they're going to have a different actor. If it's all CG, not so big on that. Really not so big on that. If they do practical effects, yes. If they do CGI, I'm probably not going to like it. So that's to be completely honest with you. I need like the practical effects. Got to have my practical effects. This cat is driving me up the wall tonight. The TV series. I'm interested in the TV series a bit more than I am the movie, actually. Because the TV series, I think Brad Dourif is on board with that one there. And what's really cool about that is that the last like 2 or 3 Child's Play movies have been kind of like a continuation of like a... No, kitty cat. Oh my god. My cat is going nuts tonight. She's jumping up and down. Well, he's jumping up and down. But if they do it like a reboot of the films, if they do like, well, not a reboot of films, the TV series moves along like Cult and Curse, then yeah, then it keeps going like that. Tends to be good considering it's being done by those who did the It reboot, which you like. I like the It reboot too, but it's a different beast. It was a TV show. Hey Jerry, how's it going? It was a TV movie that became a film, and there was enough of a difference. You wrote some questions you want to ask? Fire away. I don't think Child's Play works in the same way. Child's Play is a film, and it's as a beast. You know, originally was a film. Now, originally Child's Play, the film, the original film, was meant to be more psychological in aspect. So if they go with that more, and they don't go too far into the like, let's go wild with Chucky thing, and let's just CGI a doll the best way we can, and then you just reboot it. It'll depend. I mean, like I'm kind of worried because I'm worried we're going to get more Rob Zombie-ish Halloween than we're going to get like the movie It. Just to kind of give you an example. So, all right. The one thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to start with, Twilight Time or Code Red. I don't have a lot of either, but we might go from there. Do I collect soundtracks? Not yet. I got a few soundtracks, but I don't actually actively collect them. I do love them when I get them, whether they're in films, and or like I get like a vinyl one. If I find a vinyl soundtrack when I'm like at a flea market or something like that, I'll pick it up. Even if like could be anything, could be Mario Lanza or like Phantom of the Paradise. Like I love soundtracks. The one thing I would love to get is is Goblin. I am a huge fan of Goblin, and I would love to have a soundtrack from probably. I love that the Tenebrae soundtrack. I got like the Tenebrae like steelbook here, but I'd like to have like that on vinyl. So that would be kind of cool to have. So I don't have a lot. I have around like 7 Code Reds. Not a lot, is it, guys? Before I get into my Twilight Times, I got a little bit more Twilight Time, but this one here is actually kind of a cool one, and I think this was Actually, one that was with done in relation to Scorpion because of the girl that's on the back. Mountain Dew Code Red. That would be kind of a that'd be kind of cool. Mountain Dew one. The electric chair. So has anybody seen this one? This is like Code Red. I think it's #1. This is actually the first Code Red Blu-ray. There you go, guys. What's Code Red is a company that is they're like a very like it's a one-person deal. There is a guy by the name of Bill, and he's quite the character. He does films. His brother actually does the company called Scorpion Releasing, and to use an old phrase that my grandparents would use, it's kind of like chalk and cheese. I never thought I'd use that phrase in actual reality and like in real life, but my grandparents would use that. Basically, well, I don't like to say, but let's just say he is a very eccentric person. And if you ever go onto the Blu-ray.com forums, he does tend to be very vocal, and he complains a lot. He does. I do think that Bill really does like films and likes like a lot of what he's doing. 70 Code Reds. Dude, that is awesome, Benny. I have like 7. That is like 1/10 of what you got. I also... Hey, welcome back, James. Reality. When there's a movie with sequels, do you like buying the box set or all of them? Usually, if I can get the box set, I'll get the box set. That being said, that doesn't mean I won't buy the singles. It'll depend. Like, look at the Saw movies. The Saw movies were put out as a box set, right? So I really need to get the box set of the Saw films. That being said, I will also collect the singles of the Saw films because features and different box art and different box covers. So if I really like the series or if I really like the films, I collect both. Like my Friday the 13th. So I got Friday the 13th on DVD and Blu-ray and both series, and I have a couple of the originals. So I would definitely buy a lot of them down the road. But has Benny, you seen this one? The reason I think this one is kind of like Scorpion is because we see Marie on the back. Hey, guy, welcome back. Oh, how did you like Naked, by the way? Oh, Captain Spaulding. Yeah, I got to meet Sid Haig and Doug Bradley. Actually, I have a picture of me between both of them. Basically, what happened was that we bought like the the thing to get the picture done with one with Sid Haig, one with Doug Bradley. And we missed out. Actually, we were late getting there, and it ended. But they were really cool guys, and they stopped the person that was that was there, and they both together took a picture. So I got a picture of Sid Haig and Doug Bradley together. Sid Haig is Sid Haig. Do I have the Ginger Snaps films? Actually, if you would have been here yesterday, you would have seen that. I do have the Ginger Snaps films, 1, 2, and 3, and I got the Scream Factory edition as well. That's that one you did see. But yeah, Sid Haig is pretty much exactly what you'd expect Sid Haig to be like. Doug Bradley is a very kind of like, he's kind of quieter, kind of introspective, and really nice. He's a sweetheart of a guy. So, but very awesome. One of those guys that will stop you and talk to you. He'll remember you. That's what Doug Bradley's like. He will remember you. You may talk to him once, but he'll remember you like 2 or 3 days down the road. After he's talked to a bunch of people, he'll remember you. So that's kind of cool. One of my favorite movies, I'm not sure what this says about me, but this is actually one of my favorite films. I watched it so many times. I remember seeing like a beat-up copy of it back in the day, and then I got the Shriek Show triple pack edition of it, and then I got this. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's the 4th, right? July. What? Happy July 4th, all you guys here that are stateside. I got to work tomorrow. But I'm kind of hoping that people will think that, it's July 4th and they're not going to call me. See, like, chair. See, this is the only one I think that I got that I haven't, like, really watched. But I do want to watch it. I've heard, like, some decent stuff about it. But this one here, House on the Edge of the Park, I've watched umpteen times. I'm a really big fan of David Hess. He was a really nice guy and kind of a different guy. No, and actually, I haven't got any mail in the last week, to be totally honest with you. Trust me, if my movie had arrived, you would know, because I would actually email you first, and then I would send you, like, I'll be doing it here when you're online. It's an important day for us. Today we celebrate barbecues and explosives. Some people call that Last House on the Left Part 2. I guess in a way you can consider it like that. You know what, though? I might like it a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie, I do. I might like this a little bit better than Last House on the Left. I just really like the cast of characters in this film. It's set in the one place, and what's really freaky is that there's yeah. I see. I like better. There's a rape murder at the beginning of this film with David Hess. Not a huge surprise with David Hess. But the one thing that he didn't like people talking about, and he didn't like people like bringing up in interviews, was the girl that he rapes, kills at the beginning of this film. That's his wife. I'm not sure if she was his wife at the time, but she was his wife afterwards, and they were married until Hess passed away. And he got upset when people would like mention it in interviews. He didn't want to talk about that. That was kind of like the one taboo thing was off topic. Could you show me your Ginger Snaps movies? Sure, they're right here. Hold on a sec. It's Canadian edition. The title of it is Last House on the Left. No, sorry, Last House, Last House on the Edge of the Park. Definitely worth checking out. And I love this cover. If you don't have this one, this is a really good one. It actually got some decent features on it too. Yeah, practically is a legend as well as Hess. Yeah, I agree. And it is so. This is a really, really cool film. Radish, Giovanni Loberto. It's fun. I would take off my mic 3 times. Is it kind of like in Candyman? So this is the trilogy that we got here in Canada. This is a Canadian exclusive one for Ginger Snaps. That has all 3 films. Comes out like that. You can see 3 movies on the back. Now, just to let you know that this one here does include all the features. So this is like the feature-filled discs for the Ginger Snaps films, and there are all 3. I love this series of. It's one of my favorite werewolf films, actually, with Ginger Snaps. Next up is a film that I'm not going to lie, it's really bad, but I really enjoy it. It is a nice looking set. I also have like a prom night set I'll show you afterwards as well. That's actually also a Canadian release. I got an even better prom night set for my cousin who collects a lot of 80s films. But I wanted him to have some 80s horror. He doesn't have a lot in his collection when it comes to 80s horror. He's not like a huge horror fan. But my cousin and me grew up like kind of like brothers. This is a horrible movie. That being said, I was pretty glued to the screen when watching it. I got a thing for horrible films, especially when they have really, really good covers. This is The Forest. When you see this cover, it looks like it's going to be an awesomely cool slasher film. It's not. Not at all. There's a ghost in it. There's a dude in a rocking chair. People get killed. It's not a very interesting film. It's actually kind of so inept that it kind of makes it more interesting, if you know what I mean. If you've seen any of the Vinegar Syndrome ones that are not the really good ones, but the not so good ones, someone in your last stream posted something about Degrassi. Do you own any of those series? I own Degrassi, Degrassi Junior High, and Degrassi, The Kids of Degrassi Street. I grew up with the original Degrassi series. So you, Savannah, you're 18. Yeah, it's a great cover, isn't it? So you probably know the newer Degrassi show, and I did watch that as well because I'm a huge fan. Forgot about this movie. That's how bad it is. And you got the Blu-ray. Yeah, it is. This has an excellent cover. Anybody would pick this up if they saw this in a store, and they would be very much surprised when they got it. So this may be the back where I'll kind of like give you some. You know, when she looks there, she kind of reminds me of Dee Wallace. It's not Dee Wallace. There's no actor in this movie that's as good as Dee Wallace. Of Degrassi, every series, including the old series. Do you have the Kids of Degrassi? That's the original one. Kid Hood is the producer behind Degrassi. There's also the new Degrassi that's coming on Netflix. I've actually been watching that too. Probably too old to watch Degrassi, but still, it's part of my childhood, and I love it. I am an epileptic, and my and Stacey Mitson, who played Caitlin, and I think she is actually an epileptic in real life. She was an epileptic on the show. They would take things that were that were really going on with the people, because they weren't actors. The original Degrassi weren't actors. They were people that actually went into acting afterwards. They were real kids taken to do storylines. But to see somebody portraying epilepsy on screen was a huge deal to me. Oh, there are. You know what? It's like Doctor Who. Hold on a second. I'm getting up again. I haven't had the new series. There is some good stuff in the new series. So, originally, this was Degrassi. It was a series of like kind of TV specials that came on. Oh, Degrassi movie. It was sad though. I'm a really big fan of Joey. Might explain the shirt actually. But this is the original Degrassi series. See all these characters here? Some of them will go over into the new series. None of them will be named what they are in when they went to the junior high series. This character here named Lisa is actually, yeah, they do look younger, is actually Caitlin. And they did a lot of her, like, you have the set. And this, of course, is the super popular Degrassi Junior High, the one that was really, really famous. The character that I most related to is this one right here, by the name of Joey Jeremiah. So, Savannah, if you know this character right here, unfortunately, I may have been a bit like that in high school, just a bit more than I want to admit. And there was not the best picture of like Caitlin, but you know, what's when she started out. This is Spike, who became part of the whole teen pregnancy storyline. Yeah, that was pretty much me. Even down to like the odd dressing choices. That no surprise, it hasn't changed. And a lot of people really liked her. She played this kind of like evil or bitchier character. Now, she went on to do another show in Canada. The reason that she doesn't stay on Degrassi, in case you know, over another country man I know, is that she went on to do a series with Lalo Zato, who was actually actually acting in a few horror movies, called Learning the Ropes, where he played a professional wrestler and she played his daughter. In real life, she actually had some. When they did the storyline on like on sexual assault, that is something that had happened to her in real life. Watch all the episodes at least 4 times. I got you beat on that one. But I've had a few more years to watch them. And of course, Degrassi High. And yeah, she still looks beautiful. They were actually here in Nova Scotia at the Comic-Con last year, but I never got a chance to go, unfortunately. But I wish I had, because I really, really am a huge, huge fan of those guys. And I've seen them a couple of them once before, because basically. Oh really? From Degrassi? For me, it was her. It was Stacey Mitson. Halloween 2 and 3 are coming out in steelbooks. I know. I need more features though. I gotta have more features. All right, are you ready for the next Code Red? After that, Degrassi turn. Ken, welcome. Hey, you totally missed out on Degrassi, dude. Everybody's got something. They'll never give up. Take your money and never give up. I'm not even going to try and sing it. Is it Black Candle? Yeah, I am a huge Degrassi fan. Like I'm Canadian. I grew up with Degrassi. when I was a kid coming home from school, I remember the very first Degrassi special coming on in the afternoon. It got dubbed up on the H2, H3 Steelbooks. Really? Do they have any more features? Like the Howling one I can do because I know the Howling was going to have more features. I actually really dig this film. Now, this one here, who made this one again? Oh yeah, Jose Loraz? 10th anniversary. Oh, I gotta have Trick or Treat. That's one of my favorite films. As far as like modern day anthology films go, that rock. This is actually a really cool film. It's a really weird film. But like this is by the guy that did Vampires and it's not porn. It's yeah, there's a lot of adulty stuff in it, but it's softcore-ish. He did, he has a lot of sexuality in his films, kind of like Jean Rollin does. He did like Symptoms, which wasn't very like it wasn't an overtly sexual film actually, but was really really good one with Angela Pleasant. So it was kind of like a slow burn, but it's one I really liked. I watched it, and when I got the Mon Macabre one, and on Blu-ray, I do recommend it. And after I watched it again. But I watched this one a lot. Necromancy. I like this one a little bit better. You love Symptoms? Oh, Symptoms is a great film. I can't show you the back of that one, by the way, because it's a little on the raunchy side. Now, as far as like spaghetti westerns go, or yeah, I guess it's Spanish. We're still going to call it spaghetti western. This is a really good one. Now, if you're squeamish, maybe not so much, but I actually really like this movie, and that is Cutthroats 9. This is the movie that really, I think this one and probably one movie that I really, really want called Sweet 16, which I've never gotten, but I got to get down the road, are like two films that made me look at Code Red in the first place. Cutthroats 9 is one that I've been wanting for a long time. I had this originally on VHS. Very good flick, Jerry, I agree. From Video Search Miami. As I've spoke about them here before, they were like one of those companies that went out and like you could get stuff from them on VHS that wasn't available anywhere. I got Cutthroats 9 from them. I got like Argentos that were all like cut to pieces here. I got the uncut version that were Argento films, and they were like, the quality was pretty horrible. But so it's really cool to finally get a Blu-ray edition of Cutthroats 9. Not the best cover though. I'm guessing the Wolf Creek comment is for Savannah. Though, dude, give it a chance. It's a really good one. Benny likes Cutthroats. And it's different. You know what's really cool? I didn't remember this slasher very well, but I really enjoyed it. It's different. And that is Hide and Go Shriek. It's an odd little slasher film set in a store. Kind of like, you remember the movie Chopping Mall? Well, imagine that, but except an actual killer. So, rather than kill robots. So Hide and Go Shriek pretty much is that. Oh, okay. Maybe it'll be good. Code Red handed the Nashi films over to... Okay. This is my thing with the Nashi films. Scream's putting out some Nashi films. Code Red's putting out some Nashi films. I want the werewolf films. I really want the werewolf films from Nashi. This is what he's known for. This is the character he's known for. And we are getting them very few and far between. And I really want Curse of the Devil and Hell. I want like The Beast and the Magic Sword. I want the really good ones. The other stuff is good, don't get me wrong. I just think that I know I got to get Scream sets. I'm a huge Nashi fan. It comes from my dad. My dad, like, pretty much. But one of the first, like, oh God, I remember having the VHS, actually. I think it was a VHS. Or that was, like, an early DVD of, like, Curse the Devil. I love that movie. And didn't make a lot of sense, but I loved it. But, yeah. Didn't like the art on them? I'm so-so on it. I don't always like the art on the stuff that that Scream puts out. The worst artwork that I've seen, and it's done by good artists too, is the one that was put out there called what was it again? My favorite Nashi film. You can't decide between Bloody Tear or Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman. Both of those are really good. Now, Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman, of course, is probably one of his most known films because you get to see it. Um, I really like Beasts in the Magic Sword, which is done. Yeah. Hope you get Code Red's beside you. I wish I did, actually. Just got a week ago and watched it. I thought it was really good. Werewolf Shadow. Werewolf Shadow is a great one. But for me, it is the one that I originally saw. So it is the Curse the Devil. That's one that I really like. It because it's the one that hit me, the one I saw first. Yeah, and that one always stuck with me. Whenever I think of Nashi, I think of that film. It was my first experience. But my all-time favorite Nashi thing that I ever saw, The Man Who Saw Frankenstein Cry, which is a documentary about Paul Nashi, and if you haven't seen it, I do recommend it. It's really, really good, and it hits me, as my kids would say, it hits me in the feels. We got the German disc. Is it uncut? It's one Criterion movie I want to get, but none of them shipped. Why don't they ship to Australia? You think they would? I mean, like, you guys have some rocking stuff. The Hills Have Eyes 3, Mind Ripper, Breakfast Club, Songs of the Lambs, and Brothers of Cherbourg. Good one. If you like Brothers of Cherbourg, I do recommend the the young ladies from Rochefort. I can't remember the name right now. I know I should be asleep. It's like totally like late here, but I can't sleep, James. I just can't. I am got my cousin coming in tomorrow night. I'm working and I've been like doing chores. Oh, it's almost 4 here actually. But Hills of Eyes 3. Yeah. What do you think of Trick or Treat Coming to Scream Factory? I love Trick or Treat. There's only 2 real Hills Have Eyes films. I really don't consider this Hills Have Eyes, but we'll say it's Hills Have Eyes in much the way that Deathmaster is Count Yorga 3. My favorite vampire legend. I don't know. Dracula, Friday the Vampire from the Penny Dreadfuls. Yeah, I used to read a lot of like vampire stuff when I was a kid, and I remember. Yes, it's 4 a.m. and I'm up because I couldn't sleep. See, like James has the insomnia thing like me, and you guys got the exciting like 4th of July celebrations to do. All right, so I'm trying to see what order I'm going to do these in. I just did music. So, one of my favorite Twilight Time films. We're going to Twilight Time now. I didn't have a lot of Code Red. Is this one right here, and this is a favorite remake of mine too. I think they just hit this one completely out of the park. It's a favorite film of mine, definitely high on my list, and it is The Blob. This is of course, the remake of The Blob with Kevin Dillon and Shawnee Smith. Love this film. You got a nickname for me? Is it a good nickname? So, okay, a nickname for me beyond the prof? Okay, let's go. Let's hear it. You had a bunch of questions for me, but you didn't ask me anything, by the way. Night Owl. I like that. It's kind of like, it's one of my, actually, I'm a big fan of of the book Watchmen, so I'll go with that. What time will stop the rain? No, Nick Nolte's amazing. I think, Guy, that this one has a Savannah, I know this, has an Australian release, right? I'm pretty sure this has an Australian release. Not Twilight Time, but actually like pretty much the same. I think it's the same print. Pretty close, if it's not. No real features on this one, just the film, but a really, really good film. Being a huge Charles Bronson fan, something that I talk about, or I used to talk about a lot, The Mechanic. Great triple feature, Killer Tomatoes, and 212. So, yeah. I already asked my question. Soundtracks, box sets. Oh, did you really? So I answered them all, and I answered them all. Not only did I answer them, but I showed you like box sets and everything. So there we go. Oh, you got to see the Blob Savannah. It's really good. Yeah, they got a couple Bronson releases. The Mechanic's a really good one. I actually like this film. This is remade. Not half as good, but there's a remake of this one with Jason Statham. Not the same thing. I think this is one has Jan Michael Vincent. Yeah. really good. Keenan Wayne wins that one too. But my favorite Charles Bronson film, my favorite Charles Bronson film of all time, the one that beats Death Wish for me, and I love Death Wish, and Death Wish 2. Did you get out of your chair? That's okay. It's keeps me awake. 10 to Midnight. 10 to Midnight is my favorite Charles Bronson film, and I love this cover. You like Hard Times? Oh, Hard Times is good too. But 10 to Midnight is, most people know, this is Bronson meets slasher, and it is so good. The bad guy is completely coolly psycho in this one. What's his name? My God, Andrew Stevens. Yeah, he wasn't the bad guy, was he? No, Gene Davis. Gene Davis was the killer in this one. I was going to say Andrew Stevens is like the cop, the other cop, the young guy. But this is a great film. If you've never seen 10 to Midnight, guys, it really is a really cool film. 10 to Midnight, Death Hunt, Evil That Men Do. Oh, those are good choices. Now, Strange Invaders and the Believers. I missed out on the Believers. I really wish I had that one, actually. Strange Invaders is a good one. I know. Summer Lovers. This is, of course, Peter Gallagher, who some people are going to know from, like, what was it? The One Tree Hill, right? Like a lot of people know from One Tree Hill now. And that is, of course, Daryl Hannah, who I know from Splash. So this is actually a really good film. Basically, it is a couple that bring another female into their relationship, and they have like kind of like a wild menage a trois-ish summer that I think every young person kind of like goes through something. Maybe not that exact thing, but goes through a kind of a rite of passage, like a summer abroad type thing. Don't bother to knock. Monroe's amazing in that. Marilyn Monroe is an underrated actress, and she was so good at playing those ditzy roles that some people actually thought that was her and what she was like, and not at all, actually. Speaking of one that was just mentioned on here, here's Strange Invaders, which is a fun little like sci-fi film that I don't think gets enough credit, actually. I did enjoy this one. When I watched it, you're always buying movies, Savannah. What did you buy today? Actually, I'm kind of curious. Did you buy Mamma Mia on 4K? Worth checking out, guys. So this one is actually really worth checking out. It's very different than what I thought it was going to be. And that's a good thing. That's actually a good thing. I love this cover. It's a fun film. A little crazy. Not exactly the best storyline. But it has a lot of really cool horror actors in it. See if you guys can figure it out first. So it's got Vincent Price. It's got Christopher Lee. It's got Peter Cushing. And time's playing at Hot Rock and the Bravados in the next few months. You think Indicator's going to put them out though, Ken? Indicator does put a lot of Twilight Time stuff now. So now you really got to think, because do you want the Twilight Time edition of it? 11 8-page booklet. Or do you want the Indicator edition of it? Could have up to a 32-page booklet. And they have really good booklets. I wait just to see. That Indicator is cheaper for me. Yeah, so, yeah, Indicator is cheaper than Twilight Time, to be honest with you. Scream and Scream Again. I kind of dig this film. A little crazy, a little fun. Now, Carpenter film, because I'm a huge John Carpenter fan. This is pretty much close to, so far, it's one of the, aside from Sodom Precinct 13, this is probably the closest to a Western, really, that John Carpenter's really got, and that is Vampires. Cool film, very much like of a Western style film, and I dig it. I mean, like, James Woods does good in this. Man, I just wish James Woods hasn't gone like super crazy in real life in later years. But one Stallone film, Cobra, and one Schwarzenegger from Commando. Oh, good. I'm the disease. What's it? You're the disease. I'm the cure. Die Hard box set, the new Blu-ray set, and the Steelbook 4K of Ready Player One. That's out there. Ready Player One is out in Australia on 4K already. I like James Woods as an actor. I think he's crazy in real life and a little creepy. But as an actor, he's awesome. He's a good actor. The last two are also vampire films. Let's start off with the underrated Count Yorga, Vampire. Robert Corey, the movie that made Hammer change from doing classics. I can't believe you guys got that so quick. I don't know when we're getting it. Made Hammer stop from doing gothic films into doing like more modern day like vampire films. It was not the best decision for Hammer, but it worked for Robert Corey in Count Yorga, Vampire. And of course, I have the sequel on Scream Factory, Return of Count Yorga. Both very like, at the end, kind of very dark, nihilistic type films. But this one, guys, although I have a better edition of this film now, this is definitely the prized Twilight time in my collection. Do you know what it is? It's one of my favorite films of all time. And whenever the Criterion movie has James Wood in it? Really? Which one is that? He did a few, but I'm not trying to think which one's Criterion that he put out. Do you remember the TV pod? Oh, Vampire, Richard Lynch. God, yes. I hope so. I remember watching it. You're kind of glad they don't put out horror anymore? Because you're kind of not into Twilight time, James? Is that why? I get what you mean, though. I really do, because I had some issues with Twilight time stuff. It was so hard to get their stuff, and that was limited edition, and then you couldn't get it, and if you didn't get it right away, you didn't get it, and it cost you a fortune to buy. Yes, by the way, to go back, the vampire film, I remember it. I saw it when it originally came out. Virgin Suicides. I didn't remember he was in that. Honestly, I did not remember that he was in that at all. That's Coppola, right? The Coppola made that one. The vampire gets away in the end. The vampire, yeah, he got away in the end for a reason. It was meant to be a TV series, like you said, it was a pilot. It was meant to be a TV series. Richard Lynch did such a great job, and so did Jason Miller in that New World on Criterion. There's a lot of Criterion I want, guys. This time I couldn't get any though, unfortunately. Fright Night, 30th anniversary edition. So welcome to Fright Night. It's father of girls. Oh, James Wood, Savannah was the father to all the girls in ways, in so many creepy ways. Fright Night, for real. This is one of my favorite films of all time. Pretty much. I think this is my favorite vampire film. Like this one, would I get Fright Night on 4K? Yes, I would. Without a doubt, it is a favorite film. And this one, Near Dark, was another one of my favorite vampire films. This one sold it right away. Actually, I think it was not even like, this one's really out of print. This one was like sold out within, I think it was in like maybe a couple hours, if I'm correct. James will remember this actually, because I'm sure he probably picked it up, or he knows around the time. He was collecting stuff, that type of stuff around that time. So, but I'm pretty sure this one kind of like sold out really, really fast. I mean, I don't think it was even a day that this was available before it was all sold out. Oh, OOP means out of print. That means you can't buy it anymore. Fright Night 2 was fun. It's not as good as Fright Night, and it shouldn't be compared, but you got to, because it's a sequel, right? You got to compare it a bit. It's not what the original Fright Night 2 was going to be. Originally, Fright Night 2 was going to be about, well, Evil Ed. Because, you're so cool, Brewster. But it wasn't. Oh, God, it's a horrible Evil Ed impression. I shouldn't even try that. He's got such a cool, unique voice. And he went into I think he does legit movies now, but the guy that played Evil Ed, was also in It Sold Fast. Getting to the second time this is actually the second time they released it. This is the 30th anniversary edition. So you made it better, because this one actually has features on it that didn't show up in its original release. So you got the better one. What franchise do I like better, Nightmare on Elm Street or Hellraiser? Nightmare, for sure. I love Hellraiser. It's a great series. But Nightmare has a lot better films. Hellraiser's fun to watch. Nightmare is like you've got directors like Rennie Harlan and like Fright Night 2. Yeah, that's great high quality bootleg on YouTube. I expect that to come out. I expect that it's a company that's going to bring that out actually really soon. No, I'm not privy to any like insider information. I just got a feeling it's coming out. And who do you think will bring it out? Will Scream Factory bring it out? Or Arrow bring it out over in the UK? There's a remake. Is it true they won't release Fright Night 2 on Blu-ray because of the soundtrack music rights or something? Probably. A lot of movies don't get released because of the soundtrack. Even if we do get it, they may have to like alter some of the soundtrack. But I'm okay with that. I'd rather them not. But if that's what they got to do, I hate the fact that soundtracks are actually stopping us from actually getting some of the really good films out there. There's a company out of Canada that licensed it as a burn on demand. Did they really? Legit? Or did they just kind of legit? I'm sure because we had a couple of companies that were kind of legit. I didn't hate it. I just really did not like what they did with Peter Vincent. And I'm a huge David Tennant fan. Once upon a time, physical media should be dead by now. Yeah. But he doesn't even like movies. This is a dude that actually worked as a... it's licensed, really. I'm actually surprised. He worked as a music procurer before. And he went into like... that's why you see so many isolated soundtracks. Even in Miami Vice, there are many songs that are not included in the Blu-ray set because of copyright. No, but if you buy the DVDs, they're all included. I have the original DVDs of Miami Vice. He took painstaking time to make sure all of the music got into the series. Did you watch Did you like Blood Beach? It's not a great film, but it's a fun film. It's been years since I've seen it, so I'm going to say it's a fun film. I don't remember that well, but it seemed fun to me at the time. I mean years, and I do mean years. I mean like a long time. His girlfriend writes the booklets, really? She's more talented than he is. No, he might be a nice guy in real life, but I listened to an interview on a podcast with him once, and he had to be one of the most pretentious people that I've ever listened to. And maybe it's just me. Or maybe I'm just being overly polite about it because I'm Canadian and I do that. I didn't hate it. Yeah, it's a Fright Night, the remake. Oh, back to that. If I get my Blu-ray label off the ground, you're on the payroll. All right. Expect to do a lot of traveling for the extra features. Ooh, I would love to do extra features. I love being an extra feature. Excited based on nostalgia, but reboot doesn't hold a candle. It's okay, and it's not the only reboot. There's actually a Fright Night 2, which actually, what's the podcast called? Do you remember the title? I don't remember the title. It might have been either he's like that in every... Is he really? Wow. I don't remember the title of the podcast right now. It may have been like it was a killer POV. It's gonna be harder to find. It may have been like a part. Oh, clap for hat. Welcome. What are some tips to find time to watch movies with a full-time job? It's hard. Stay up late. Try and put one in every once in a while. Last night, I watched The Killers with Burt Lancaster, and then I watched the remake of The Killers with Lee Marvin. And I'm a huge Lee Marvin fan, but I'm going to tell you right now, the Burt Lancaster version of The Killers, watch that one. That's the one to watch. Friday Night Part 2 is fun. It's got the guy from like TerrorVision in it, and has the guy, and he's also, of course, the guy from The Pretender. And like me, by the time he gets to The Pretender, he's lost a lot of his hair. He's not the star. He's like the one that helps him out. The Killers with Lancaster. Yeah, I know. I was disappointed. I don't blame Seagal, though. I do in a way. He did cast John Cassavetes, and Cassavetes is a great director. He's not a great actor. He's a passable. He's a workable actor. He's a great. He did great with his direction, but Cassavetes was not the greatest actor in the world, and him and Angie Dickinson just did not have that chemistry that Ava Gardner and Burt Lancaster had. To be totally honest with you, and that's a huge part of it. Multi-screen drive-in theater. I'm if you. Ooh, drive-in would be fun. Especially if you get those 70, if you get the drive-in theater, you know, you got to do the 70 millimeter stuff. You got to bring some of the older stuff. Put in some of the newer stuff, but bring stuff in there like some of the old spaghetti westerns from the horror. Imagine doing like a drive-in thing, like showing like the originals, like Friday the 13th and Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street and all those like kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I actually originally saw in drive-in. You love the Killers with Lee Marvin? Here's the thing, James. I think if you watch it on its own, it's a good movie. But if you watch it next to the Lancaster version, it's harder to say. I watched them back to back. Maybe that wasn't the way to do it, but I did. And the viewing of the second film suffered because I had the first one, and that was much closer to the Ernest Hemingway story, The Killers, than the Lee Marvin one was. And I'm a huge Lee Marvin fan. But John Cassavetes was actually one of my problems with it. He was a weak choice for the role, and although I do love Angie Dickinson, and I think she is gorgeous, I don't think she may have been the best choice at that time to at least with maybe it's just Cassavetes. I just thought it was a bit weak in the film, but you've never seen really watch it. It's a much different film. He is the Swede is what he's supposed to be. He's a boxer in the original film, and trust me, there's a huge difference. It's much more film noir-esque than the Lee Marvin one. But guys, I hate to cut this short, and this is actually one that's going to be really short, but it is after 4 o'clock in the morning here. It's actually 4:15, and I didn't think anybody was going to come on tonight. So I just wanted to make like a short little video, and hope that I'd see one or two of you guys. I didn't expect to see the whole movie club show up, but thank you guys so much. Do you have the movies My Girl and My Girl 2? I don't. My Girl made me cry, though. The glasses scene, that made me cry. I'm not going to lie. It did. I'm a big softie. You know what? While I go to bed tonight, I'm going to put on some Degrassi. Listen to it in the background. Hear the zits. Everybody's got something. They'll never give up. Have a great night, guys. Thanks, Polly. Thanks, James. Other James. Savannah. Great to see you back on here. And hopefully, I will be back on here again Saturday night. And I might bring some of the fam along. So, night, guys, and have a fantastic one. Enjoy your July 4th. And happy Independence Day, guys. You guys rock.